Welcome to Empowering Employers, the UFEZ Advantage podcast, episode 2. I'm your host, Elena Piri. And of course, I'm not alone. I'm joined by the Ministry of Labor and Social Security Labor Commissioner, Mr. Givens Mutengwa. The United Federation of Employers Zambia will be hosting an investment conference in April 2025. What are the Ministry of Labor's priorities in 2025 regarding foreign direct investments, and how do initiatives like this fit into your goals?
Thank you so much. Like all other years before, Ministry of Labor looks at one of the most important fundamental pillars of decent job agenda. That pillar primarily is the pillar that looks at job creation. So when you are talking of investors coming in the country, by the way, we don't call them investors in Ministry of Labor, we call them as employers. So when these investors come in the country, they'll be able to get exposed to so many other opportunities where they can invest and then begin to engage or employ the citizens of this country. When they do that, it only goes to develop the country, because on one hand they'll be creating new jobs, and those new jobs will add or spur growth of the economy. So as Ministry of Labor, what we expect is, as they mingle with UFEZ in this country, they'll be able to learn the landscape of this country in terms of the economy. They'll be able to look at the natural resources that we have, and then be able to have value addition. And as they engage in that value addition at each stage, they'll be able to open up employment opportunities.
What role does the Ministry of Labor play in ensuring that investors comply with labor laws and regulations?
So compliance is an issue which is regulated under the Employment Code Act. As you know, this is a law which seeks to regulate employer-employee relationship. There are obligations that are placed on employers, one of which is the employer must not casualize employment. In other words, casualization simply means that the job that is permanent in nature must be given to an employee on a permanent basis and not on temporary basis, because when you take out that job from the equation, the company cannot survive, the company cannot remain in operation. So to ensure that that is not done, our office therefore conducts labor inspections where we sensitize the employers, we guide them on the do's and don'ts. And one of the other fundamentals upon which we make an assessment is on the basis of a contract, because any employee who is employed for 6 months or more must be given a contract in writing. And also talking about the decent work agenda, we're also talking about social protection. So as we go out to inspect, we also look at the remittances. As you know, the National Pension Scheme Authority, NAPSA, falls under the jurisdiction of Ministry of Labor. Workers' compensation falls under Ministry of Labor. The Occupation Safety and Health Institute also falls under Ministry of Labor. So when we go out as a team, we then look at all aspects that affect the employee. So as the investors come in our country, we then are able to guide them on how the labor laws are sitting in this country, so that the employer-employee relationship is enhanced. It is operating at that optimal level where there is harmony at the place of work.
How do labor laws and international forums contribute to Zambia's labor landscape?
For example, this conference, which is taking place in a few months, is next month or the other month, is that it brings to the fore the issue of labor migration. As you know, labor migration is twofold. The citizens of this country can go out to look for greener pastures out there. So the monies that they earn contribute to the national treasury through remittances, because they'll be sending those monies to their relatives. They'll be sending some monies for the projects that they are embarking on while they are earning those funds. And conversely, the nationals of other countries, the expatriates, so to say, when they come to this country, they are then able to transfer that knowledge to our citizens, so that that gap of knowledge is cured by that interface which our local employees have with those expatriates. So these international conferences also teach us the international best practices. We are able to benchmark what is happening in other countries, and vice versa. They are also able to benchmark what is happening in the country. And when you begin now to interrogate the systems that we have around the employment sector or labor sector, so to say, you then realize in which area you must then put your efforts together, so that you can ameliorate the situation to a level where employees work, for example, under a safe environment. So the importance of these conferences cannot be overemphasized. They are really, really important, extremely important, I must say.
Finally, what should people expect at the Invest Zambia 2025 conference?
What people must expect first is it's a learning experience. Obviously, they are bringing their experiences from outside this country, or from wherever they are coming from. They have something to talk about, and by the same extension, those employers in Zambia equally have a story to tell. And when they begin to exchange this information, then they'll come to the realization that certain things can be done better, maybe by doing what country X is doing. And then country X also will be able to learn from our experiences. And going forward, we will then only improve the standards that are obtaining on the ground, the standards that are found in the labor sector. So what therefore should be the expectation is an improved interaction with international investors, so to say. That collaboration is good for the country, because you are able to identify your shortcomings. You are able to know how to improve on certain aspects of the economy, so that the citizens of this country can enjoy acceptable standards or better ways of enjoying quality life as they work on a daily basis. I think those are some of the things that we expect to see.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's episode, where we were talking about labor laws and regulations. I was joined by the Ministry of Labor and Social Security Labor Commissioner, Mr. Givens Mutengwa. Please find time to join us next week, same time, same place.